I've titled the topic Think and Act Rich. Now, in case you think I'm proposing that you and I go out this year and pretend to have more money in our pocket than we in fact do, that's not at all what I'm suggesting. I am, however, proposing that there are three elements that we require in a personally tailored combination that will create and help us have a richer life this year than we had last year. And the discerning viewer will already have noticed that I've used the acronym ACT instead of the word ACT when I suggest that you and I need to think and act rich. And the reason I've done that is very important. And those three elements are A, assets, C, cash, and T, time. Hello and welcome to another Coffee with Colm, and thanks for tuning in. This week I want to talk about a topic that's been on my mind for some time, and I've titled the topic Think and Act Rich. The discerning viewer will already have noticed that I've used the acronym ACT instead of the word ACT when I suggest that you and I need to think and act rich. And the reason I've done that is very important. And those three elements are A, assets, C, cash, and T, time. And the reason I propose we need all three is because you and I do need cash. We live in an economy where the grocer doesn't take good intentions. He takes money. He wants cash. So for you and I to buy stuff, even the simple stuff of life, bread and milk and eggs and fish, we need money. So we need cash. And there are many ways that you and I can create cash. The most frequently used way is people trade their time, and they go to a job and they trade their time perhaps ad infinitum to earn money. Is the consultant that earns 6 or 7 figures rich? Perhaps he or she might be wealthy, but if they're trading 120 hours a week to have that cash flow come in, does that constitute them being rich? I don't know. Truthfully, that comes back to their personal view of the combination that I referred to earlier. If they continually trade their time for money, I don't know that would work for me, but it might work for somebody else. So I'm not here to judge. However, I am proposing that you begin to think this year how you might go about creating some assets. The A in ACT stands for assets, and assets are those things that put money into your pocket, and liabilities are those things that take money out of your pocket. So wouldn't it be great if you got to this time next year and in the meantime you've created some assets somehow that help put the few bob in your pocket, the cash that's required to go and trade for goods and services. And why would that benefit you? Well, because if you can create some assets this year that will help put money into your pocket whether you go to work or not, well then it reduces the dependence on you to have to go and trade your time to earn the cash to go to the supermarket. Which brings me to the third element in ACT, and that is T, time. Time is finite for you and I. We've only got an allotted amount. We don't even know what that allotted amount is. It's also irreplaceable. Every second that we spend or invest or use is gone forever. We can get more money. We can buy more assets. We can't get any more time. And really, in my opinion, the true richness of life comes in 4 ways. It comes in our body, our mind, our spirit, and our relationships. And when all is said and done, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So we got to take care of our body, we got to take care of our mind, we got to take care of our spirit, and we got to take care of our relationships. And to do that, we need time. We don't need more money. So my proposal around you and I thinking and acting rich is that we in fact do spend more time thinking this year to figure out ways that we can create a portfolio of assets that will put a few bob in our pocket to reduce the amount of time that we got to spend chasing the almighty dollar. If we can think and figure out ways of creating assets that put money into our pocket without us having to go to work for it, well then doesn't that automatically propose that you and I will have more time to spend on looking after the things that really matter, looking after our bodies, our minds, our spirit, and our relationships? I think it makes perfect sense. One of the reasons why most people don't do this is because thinking is hard. Thinking takes time, and for those of us that are action oriented, well, thinking itself can actually appear to be a waste of time. I propose that it's not. I suggest to you that thinking is not a waste of time, and not enough people do it. And I wondered, why do not enough people do it? Not enough people do it because A, it takes time, B, it's difficult, and C, it's uncomfortable. When you and I start thinking about stuff, well then we come up with areas in our lives that perhaps we're not too proud of. We come up with areas in our lives that perhaps need a bit of work. And oftentimes it's easier, it's certainly more comfortable to brush those things under the carpet and just keep the status quo, just keep doing what we've always done. So what I am proposing in this topic, Think and Act Rich, is that you and I take some time this year to think, first and foremost. Take some time to think about what's really important to us. Take some time to think about our bodies, our mind, our spirit, and our relationships. And then figure out some ways of creating or acquiring some assets that'll put a few bob in our pocket without us having to trade our time for it. Figure out how much money we actually need to make us content in this life. It doesn't have to be millions, but we need a few bob in our pocket for sure. And then do so in such a way that allows us more time for ourselves, more time for our bodies, more time for our spirit, more time for our mind, more time for the relationships in our lives. Because when push comes to shove, at the end of the day, that's really all that counts. And thank you for joining me for this week's Coffee with Colm. I hope and trust that you got something from it. Most importantly, please consider what's been shared and apply it into your thinking for this week. And then equally as importantly, please come back next week and we'll share another coffee together. Meantime, get some good coffee, get some good rest if you can, get some fresh air if you can, and come back this time next week. We'll share another coffee together. Oh, I love great coffee. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.